Salut à tous. Alors, je vais faire un petit test YouTube et on va commencer à parler en anglais maintenant. So, hello everyone. I'm just trying a little bit YouTube and I will work on my project. So I hope you will enjoy it and I will show it to you like right now. So, here's my project. Okay, this is my server, which is node based. So okay, let's close everything and I'll show you quickly what I have. So basically I have this git repository. You can see git ignore here where I'm not pushing with everything the node modules of everything. So I have basically two folders, one API and one app. And basically the API is the API, so basically to handle requests and give me my data, and it makes also the connection with the database and everything. And I have my app folder, which is actually like the front end and the application in general. So I already have something, and for example I have like a system things where I have auth2 authentication, but I'm not using it right now and it's a little bit complicated, so I will not go inside. But basically I have my little system here that allows me to create application, and this application will be used how to say, like this is a real API. So when I want to create an application, for example this app here, this app folder, this is an application and it is using the client let's say database related things. So basically how it works is that I have my database with all my clients and so on, which are like application, and people can create their own application on it. So this is basically what it is. So now let's go and show you a little bit more like in detail what it is. I think it will be easier. So first of all I'm using Visual Studio Code, and first of all I have to run MongoDB. So got like this. Then I have to go to my API and use server.js. I'm using Notmon here, which allows me to refresh the server every time I make a change on it. So it's just to gain some time and not like shutting it down and putting it up every time I make any change. Then we run another one, and here we go to API and we go to interface, and inside of here I have Angular application. So here I am just going to run it, and I'll show you right now what it is. So I have it on localhost 4201. So it takes a little bit of time because here it's just kind of compiling. Okay, it compiled successfully. So now I have my application here. So you can see localhost 4201, and we are on login. So when you are here, you can like connect, so log in with your credentials, or if you don't have an account, you can create a new account, and if you have one, you can connect. Forgot password does not work right now. Didn't want to spend time doing it right now. So now I put my credential and I will log in. Okay, so here I have my, let's say, administration panel, or I don't know how to explain, but basically what I can do is to create apps, and these apps are used to, like for example, for another developer, for example, he comes to my API, he comes to this interface, and what he can do is to create apps here, and he can use the secret and the ID and yeah, the ID and the secret to basically connect to my API and so on. So I have a little problem here that I didn't solve yet, but basically I need to refresh to see it. So I already have an application, which is the one I am working currently on. So this is this Lyritar ERP, which have this credential. I have the ID and secret, and if I click here, I can show the secret. I shouldn't show it to you, but I don't really care since it is on local development, so you can use this and it will not affect me at all. So you can hide it and show it. And basically what you can have also is statistics, and it gets you here, and you have statistics on like what happened with your application, like how many requests people made using your application and on which routes. So for example, now I have only authenticate routes, I have user ID and users. And with this I can see that yesterday, for example, okay, data are a little bit wrong in the bottom. This is a fix I have to make also, but so far didn't manage to do it, didn't find the time. So anyway, by the time, for example, authenticate this route, I have been trying it yesterday 8 times. You can see the number of hits and the date when it was. You can see how long time it took in total. For example, 179 milliseconds, sorry. And you have some statistics. For example, the maximum process time, which is 52 milliseconds, which is really small, and the minimum, which is 10, and the average, which is 22. So it is kind of good performance right now, but I am on local, and these values might change if I push the API to live server and so on. So I also hit the user ID 1 time, so nothing really interesting here, and the users like 6 times. So basically I wanted to have this kind of dashboard for the developers to, and also a lot for me, which is developing the API, because from this I can have the statistics on which routes are the most used and the one that takes the most of time. And knowing that, I can basically like improve my API quite well and like gain time and like I don't know how to explain, but it will make it always better. Like to have feedbacks, it's always good. So, and because I am also administrator of my own API, I also have this user list. So for example, here it's only me, which is an admin, and I can go in the details. I can remove my log permission here if I want. Now it doesn't do much, but basically if I am denied, I cannot log in anymore. And I have also the application this user is using. I can check his statistics, and if one application is using my API wrongly, I can also block it, and the guy cannot access it anymore. So basically that's all my administration part does from the API, and now I am also developing the other part, which is the real application. So for that I have to go back in my terminal here, and I have to go in my app, and here I can do ng-serve. So again it will take a little bit of time to compile, so let it compile. Okay, it's almost done. I'll close everything here. Okay, so it has been done. So now I can go there, and I can go on localhost to 4200. And here basically I have the same things, but not really. So basically, okay, now it goes on start view, but I should go on home. And on home, for example, you can see like what's the showcase of my website and application. So it's not done yet. I have already written something like myself, but for example, this was from the framework I am using, which basically is a really great framework. I recommend it for almost everyone which wants to make a kind of admin panel and so on, which is called Inspinia. So you can find it here. Inspin, yeah, it doesn't cost much. I think it even increased the price recently because I got it for $18 and now it's 21. And yeah, usually it's 30, so yes, it increased a little bit. But basically, you can have it there. I send you the link. Okay. I don't know why the chat on YouTube is deactivated. Anyways, you can find the link here anyway. You saw me, I just wrote it on Google and this is the first that comes. So basically I have my home page here with my little projects and so on, my timeline. Okay, so this is not done at all, but just to show you quickly. If I click here, it should go and so on. Then I can connect to it. So this is what I was working on yesterday evening, and basically I had a huge problem which bothered me quite much, and this is all about making requests with the API. Because when I was logging in, I need for my API I need to always send the application credential, like for example the ID and secret. And this is basic authorization. And the problem was that every time you send something to the API, because it is not on the same how to say port, like this is on local 4200, but the API is, here you can see it, it's on port 3000. So because of that, we need to use this course, this cross origin blah blah blah. And it bothered me a lot because when you do that, when you use two different domains or like port, you have to like the automatically you make a request options before and then you make the post or the get or whatever you want. And the problem is that when you send an option, you cannot send any JSON things. And basically my Angular application is sending JSON objects for the credential and the headers. And for some reason, which I don't know why, you cannot send JSON formats when you send to an option request. And this was blocking the app because I was basically not sending the credentials, so my application was just saying like no, API say no, you cannot go there, you are not authorized. So I had to use a little trick on my server, which is here, and basically I said if this is an option, you just return 200, which is like okay, everything was fine. So every option I have now, it will just go like okay, you get it, I don't care. And you go and you make the get, post or put or whatever you want. So that's it. This was my problem. So basically now it's the same. You can create an account also and you can log in. And that's it. I don't have even anything behind. Like here I don't have much. I just have the starter view, which is basically nothing. I have the examples of Inspinia. So this is for example what you could do with it, which to me looks really great. You have many dashboards with different views and things to help you to make good interfaces. So yeah, this is some examples. And basically that's it. Also I have my own contact list, which I started already. This is totally wrong data, but basically this is how I want my contact list to look like. And that's pretty much it. So now what I would like to code with you and to try a little bit is to make my profile view. For example, I have this profile here and basically it's going nowhere. so let's try to make a profile view. First of all, because I'm using this framework, which is really great, I have it open here. Okay, so for example, this is Infinia. This you have access online, but I have the framework, so I downloaded it and I have it on my computer. And basically, it shows, it gives you a good idea of views you can do with the framework. So for example, in app view there is like profile, which is kind of nice. There is even a version 2, which I even prefer, but I don't know how what to do yet with it. Basically, in my profile view, in this one, I want to update my user. For example, if I go to Mongo Management Studio, which is basically my database, takes a little bit of time to run, but okay. So my database is here, and I have my user, app user, sorry, and inside I have, okay, let's put it like this. I don't have basically much. I have picture, last name, first name, email, password, can login, and created that, and last login, which I think is not working right now, but anyway. So I have this field. It will probably grow in the future, but now it doesn't. I just have these fields, and I want to be able to edit them as a user. For example, if I want to change my picture profile picture, sorry, then I can do it. So, and my last name, first name, and so on, because by default, like when I create my account, I'm just asking the email and the password, and that's it. So let's jump in the code and write actually something here. So let's go there and go to this app. So I'm using Angular CLI to go faster, to create components and so on. So what do we have here? Okay, so this is a profile, so maybe we can put it into create a new component, maybe into user profile. This can be something. Okay, so ng generate components, and this is where we should put it. So we can make users slash profile, and I don't want the spec file. So this is just generating a component. So you can see here it just created the new folder users and profile for the profile with the profile component, which has component ES and the template and the CSS. Also, it updates right away the app modules. But if I had a module inside this folder, for example, it would have updated this one. So basically, as you can see, profile component has been included here, and here also I have it declared, so it's fine. So let's do it right now in the root also. We create a new root for that. So profile component, and the root will be under basic layout, yes, slash, and here we can put users no my dash profile. Okay, and now here goes the profile component, and now if I check, I should have here my profile. Oof, profile works. So why do I have this message? It's basically because I have in my template of profile works. So it seems working, which is great. Okay, so I have my component. now let's go quickly here and let's put some dumb HTML. So I'll go here. No, okay, I'll go check first the view I would like to have. I don't like much this thing. I like this. I think contact v2. Like to have basically something like this with my information, so, because I don't have much. This would be great to have this as a kind of a reminder of who I am and so on, like kind of card. And next to it, I can maybe modify the fields. So I'll do that in another video because somebody is calling at my door and I have to go. So thank you for watching if you did, and see you next time.